I bought a 2002 Toyota Camry with 225,000 miles with a 2.4 liter engine. We're going to talk about the pros and cons, the options, and should you buy a high mile Toyota product. Hey guys, if you're new to my channel, I buy and sell cars as a hobby. I'm not a car dealer, I'm a car enthusiast. I love all cars. But I bring you guys along with me showing the pros and cons of each vehicle that I buy. So I've been looking for cars. I live on Craigslist, I live on Facebook, I'm always looking for cars. We're gonna talk about this Toyota in 2 seconds. We're gonna talk about all the history that I have with this car. We're gonna talk about the options. Sal, wicked nice guy, but 2-3 weeks ago, I sold my 2002 Mini Cooper S to a gentleman named Craig, and I told him, take a picture next to the car and I'll get you into the next car video. So Craig, there you go, you're on YouTube, all right? So thank you very much. Second thing is my friend Jim. My friend Jim reached out to me and asked if I can sell his Ford Ranger. Now he lives in New Hampshire. New Hampshire is a no warranty, buy as is state. Gave me the truck, 2 days later, I was able to sell it. The new owner, unfortunately, got mad because it didn't pass state inspection, even though it has a current state inspection sticker. Some spots in the truck had some rust that obviously Jim couldn't see. He was an older guy, he's not crawling underneath the truck. I didn't look at it, it's not my truck. So Jim gave him $500 back just to keep him happy. And the guy was still unhappy, wanting more money. So we just kind of like, you know, like whatever, dude, you bought it as is. You looked at it for 45 minutes. So for $2,000, what do you expect? So that's one unhappy camper, unfortunately. But when that truck sold, Jim's ex-girlfriend reached out to me asking to sell her a 2012 Jeep Liberty. Also, 2 days later, it sold on Facebook. I made my little commission. There was no drama on that car, and I was happy. Now, like I said, I live on Craigslist. I'm always looking cars for myself. Jim asked me, what kind of car should I get that's gonna be reliable? Because I wanna sell my 2016 Cadillac XTS. He has a bank loan. He just wants to get rid of a car payment. And if I can help him sell it, I will. But in the meantime, we're on Craigslist, and we're on Facebook, and we're searching for cars. I told him, look for the older Toyota, Camry, Corolla, maybe even Avalon, whatever. Now he's coming from a Cadillac and he's gonna be going into a Toyota, so that's a big difference. So I told him all about the 2.4 liters. I'm like, these things run forever, just maintain them correctly, and we'll buy the best car possible. Now on Facebook and on Craigslist, I know people that are scammers or maybe dealership cars that they put in private listings. I can see all the bullshit. This is what I do. I've been doing this for a very long time. So when I actually saw this car, today is Saturday, first day of spring, finally. On Monday morning when I woke up, I saw the 2002 Camry, and the guy named Sal got back to me after work. I went to his house 6 miles down the road. I bought the car right away. Ran good. He had all these service records. We're gonna go through that in a second. But with Jim, I didn't think he wanted a high mile Camry. I think he was looking more like around the 150,000 miles or less, but he only had a budget of $3,500. And that's not gonna get you that much with a, you know, for a nice car. Not here in New England anyways, with the rust and stuff. But anyways, when I went to see this car, I was really pleasantly surprised on how well it was. So here's the options with this car. It's the XLE, and in this particular model came with aftermarket wheels, a wing, wood trim, the sunroof, both power front and passenger seats. It had a great stereo system. It had heated mirrors. The rear window shade, which was a plus. I never seen one in an older Camry, so that was pretty cool. And again, I wanted a 2.4 liter engine. I don't want the timing belt crap with the 6-cylinder. They're great engines, the 6-cylinders. You just have to, it's just more maintenance. And the body was rust-free. It had a couple little dents and it had some road rash on the hood from just driving a lot. But other than that, it's a good-looking little car. And I was really happy with that. I was very happy with the drive. So I had Sal actually drive the car back to my house, and then I dropped them back off. Meanwhile, I was on the phone with Jim, and I said, hey, Jim, I picked up a Camry, but it has a lot of miles. I don't think it's for you, but if you want to come down, take a look at it, be my guest, and we'll look for a car similar, because I'm thinking, in my head, he wants a lower mile car. But when he came here and he saw it the next day, he told me he's been on YouTube, he's been on Google, he's been searching the issues or the reliability of these cars, and he had no problem with the high miles. Now, I take my cars, and when I do my videos, I do the car wash, I take it to my friends at RGA, I put up in the lift, and we go through the whole car. I make a whole cool little video thing with the drone and everything. So when I told Jim I was gonna make this video, I'll bring it to RGA, we'll put on the lift and make sure it's state inspectable. So RGA gave it a clean bill of health, and Jim bought it the very next day. So that was fantastic. So now we're going to talk about the pros and cons, all right? After seeing all these receipts, Sal owned this car for 2 years. He bought it with 198,000 miles, give or take. And the person he bought it from also had it for quite a few years, and they have all the maintenance records here as well. So the pros and cons. One, it's an ugly car. That's the con. It's ugly. What 15, 18, 19-year-old kid looks online and says, you know what? Man, I like the looks of that 2002 Camry. No one. No one says that. It is what it is. It's a great commuter car, but you do have to service it. So the pros, it's just super reliable. It really is, but you do have to do your maintenance. So here is a small list that every Camry will need, all right, especially with the 2.4 liter, okay? So let's go right down the list. You do have to make sure, transmission service, it's at least every 80, 100,000 miles. Look out for the water pump. You want to make sure all the fluids are there. You don't want anything leaking. You don't want to blow a head gasket, all right? Just basic, keeping an eye on things. Check engine lights. Those are problematic with Toyotas. Every Toyota always have a check engine light. It's usually the EVAP, an O2 sensor, a gas cap, and sometimes the ignition coils will go bad. There's only 4 of them. They're dirt cheap these days, like 15 bucks. That's the only, crappy thing with the check engine lights. It's those few things. But other than that, they run forever. Again, New England car. I'm very satisfied with how there's like no rust on this car. Very happy with that. All right, so here's what Sal has done to this car since he owned it in 2 years. Doesn't mean that every car is gonna need this all at the same time, but over the many years and the many miles, this will be addressed. So the brakes are wicked cheap on these cars. 25 bucks for a set of pads, like 20 bucks per rotor, or even 15 bucks per rotor. They're cheap. Those wear out quickly because they're so cheap. A radiator, you're eventually going to need a radiator. This is all common stuff with all cars. Struts, they're cheap. I think you can get all 4 for like 150 bucks. Wheel bearings, you put a lot of miles on the car, the wheel bearings are going to go. Those are cheap too. Sway bar bushings, dirt cheap. Valve cover gasket, once or twice, maybe even 3 times at 225,000 miles. That's an easy thing. Exhaust. The exhausts do rust out on these, the mufflers. Sometimes the catalyst converters get a little beat up. These are reasonable priced as well. The catalyst converter costs $95. The muffler was 100 bucks, but Sal did all the work himself. So if you can find somebody that helps you out, that's fantastic. Try to stay away from the dealerships. Try to stay away from like Pep Boys and all that type of stuff. Find a good garage where you can build up a good reputation with this garage and they can help you out. Usually they'll take care of you, especially if you're a repeat customer. Let's see, axle shaft. That's always a wear and tear item on just about any car. And that's probably the most expensive thing on this list at $169. The oil pan, I think that was 50 bucks. Motor mounts, coil packs, You know, that's about it. I mean, after 2 years, that's what he did. That's not a lot of money. So that's about it for the Toyota Camry. And if I was able to have 5 more just like that, I would buy them. High miles, you know, stay away from cars that are like I'm from Boston area. I live 30 miles north of Boston. If you get a car that is in the city with a lot of potholes, you know, that's the suspension's toast. You know, you're going to be fixing a lot of suspension all the time. I enjoy buying these high mile cars. I had a 2011 Camry 2.4 liter with 270,000 miles. I had a high mile 4Runner, 232,000 miles. And, you know, these things are bulletproof. They're bulletproof, but you got to take care of them. As simple as that. But that's about it, guys. I mean, would you buy one with 225,000 miles? Absolutely. Jim is a happy camper. He's enjoying it. And I can't believe how well that car runs. Now it's time for me to sell Jim's Cadillac. That's not going to be an easy task because it's an $18,000 car. Jim got a good deal at around $2,700 on his car, and that is state inspected. So, guys, thank you very much for tuning in as always, and till the next video. Baldadonis out.